Ben and Oliver had been best friends since childhood. They lived in a small town by the sea, where the waves crashed against the rocks like a steady drumbeat. Both men were fishermen, waking before dawn and casting their nets into the deep waters. Ben was a talker. He would boast about his fishing skills, telling grand tales of the biggest fish he had caught. Oliver, on the other hand, was quiet. He listened more than he spoke, and he never argued when Ben exaggerated his stories. One morning, as the sun stretched its golden fingers across the sky, Ben issued a challenge. "Let's see who catches the biggest fish today," he said, grinning. "Winner gets the other man's best fishing spot." Oliver simply nodded. They set off in their boats, rowing out to deeper waters. Ben chattered to himself, convinced he would win. He cast his net with enthusiasm, confident that luck was on his side. Oliver, as always, worked in silence. He watched the water, reading the ripples like a book. He knew the tides, the patterns of the fish, the way the wind whispered secrets. He placed his net carefully, waiting with patience. As the hours passed, Ben grew frustrated. His net came up empty or tangled with seaweed. He muttered and grumbled, pulling and tossing his net over and over. Then he saw Oliver struggling with something heavy. The quiet man's net was bulging, thrashing with movement. With effort, Oliver pulled in a massive fish, the biggest either of them had ever seen. Ben was stunned. "How did you do that?" he blurted out. Oliver smiled slightly but said nothing. He simply secured his catch and began rowing back to shore. Ben followed, feeling a mix of admiration and jealousy. When they reached land, he sighed and nodded. "You won," he admitted. "I guess I'll give you my fishing spot." Oliver shook his head. "Keep it," he said. Ben frowned. "But why?" "You won fair and square." Oliver looked out at the sea. "Fishing isn't about winning or losing," he said. "It's about understanding." Ben was silent. For the first time, he realized that Oliver had never needed to boast. He didn't fish to prove anything. He simply knew the sea. That night, as Ben lay in bed, he thought about Oliver's words. He had spent so much time competing that he had never truly paid attention. The next morning, Ben went out to sea again. This time, he didn't talk. He listened, to the waves, to the wind, to the wisdom of patience. And for the first time in years, he came back with a full net. The morale of the story is, success doesn't come from competition. It comes from understanding. Subscribe for more inspiring stories. Stay motivated with powerful life lessons.